All right, so now we're getting into the grades, and I'll have a couple videos on this. What I first wanted to go through was actually some of the core classes. I asked the school district to provide some information for the core classes: English, social studies, math, and science by grade, uh, average grade percentage, prior year versus current year for the first 9 weeks. So what you can see here, this is English and social studies. I kind of group these together. I think these go together. I think math and science go together. And basically across the board, you can see for the most part, the grades are down. There's a couple spots where they're not. And that's an absolute change, right? So that's, that's not a percentage. It's a change of, for example, grade 6, 85.5 minus 85.2. So down, slightly. And then there's some that are down, grade 11. I noticed grade 11 for some reason seems to be probably in the worst shape. I'm not sure why that is, but anyway. So anyway, the grades are down, and that's not a surprise. But here's what I guess, and this is more an opinion. So I'm gonna, I'm trying to do mostly just information and data. I think there's my opinion here. I think it actually is much worse than this even. And the reason I say that is because these kids are way behind where they should be compared to previous years. When you talk to the teachers, when you talk to the kids, you'll get the sense that they're not really doing sometimes a lot. A lot of that's because of the virtual. Basically Fridays now are essentially, it's just makeup work, and they're not doing hardly anything on Fridays. It's just, and I think, and my other question is these teachers, and I'm sure they're, have best intentions, but are we starting to adjust grades, with the understanding that we're not really doing so well, and we need to. That's not good, right? So that's my other concern with this. We can see the grades are down. What adjustments are going to be made, for the kids, and I think that's probably not really the best thing, right? If they're supposed to be learning, we want them to actually learn, and we want to to be comparable to where we were before. We're not in any way. Math and science. Math is the hardest hit, which doesn't surprise me at all. I think it's really hard to learn math virtually. I think it's it's something you need to be in class. Science is not doing too well. I always wonder, how do you learn science if you can't do a lab, if you can't sit with a group? A lot of these things, the issues are, we learn better in groups. We learn better, when teachers can actually, you can understand them when they're not wearing masks. These are all issues that we're dealing with. And again, you can just see for the most part, grades down across the board. The next video I'll do will be an interesting one because it'll show you how many kids are failing versus previous year. And that's even more dramatic and more telling in terms of what's going on right now in terms of grades.